They'll never take me alive, I'm getting high with my profile. Cops only suffer time I die, even as a youngster. Causing ruckus on the back of the bus. I was a fool all through high school, kicking up dust. But now I'm labeled as a troublemaker. Who can you blame? Smoking weed up, we take away the pain. So I'm hopeless, rolling down the freeway, swerving. Don't worry, I'm about to crash upon the curb, cause my business bloody, baby. If they try to understand me, what should I do? I had to feed my fucking family, what else could I do? Or be a thug? I'm slanging with the homies, fuck hanging with them 40s in the club. Got my mind on danger, never been a stranger to homicide. My city's full of gangbangers and drive-bys. Why do we die at an early age? He was so young, but still a victim of 12 gauge. My memories of a corpse, mind full of sick thoughts, and I ain't going back to court. So fuck what you thought. I'm drinking Hennessy, running from my enemies. When I live a beat 23, there's so much pain.
Welcome in, everyone. How are we tonight? Getting all hyped up for the Trump rally in California. I wonder how this is going to go. This is good. This is monumental. Truly is. It is awesome. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, okay. I see what it is. Thanks, Regina. I didn't know what the heck that was. But guys, gonna get excited. Let's check in with them. Let's see what is going on.
And high cost of living, but also because he's doing well and is very confident with what will happen in the next few days.
Well, and time, money, and resources are the most important thing to a campaign at any point, but specifically as you approach election night. The fact that President Trump, that is spending time in California, he was just in New York, and now he's going to go back to Madison Square Garden in just a couple of weeks. That tells you he's serious about making a play for those states. Now, that's not a guarantee by any means, but the fact that he's there isn't just ceremonious. It isn't just a show of optics. There's something to be said there, even if it's down ballot races that benefit from it. And the other thing you mentioned about polling, I don't take polling at face value. You don't look at the 51 to 49 and say that's what it is. However, President Trump is always historically underpolled. The margin of error after an election with him, they understate his support drastically. So in the past 8 years, you saw him trailing Hillary Clinton. They said he was trailing Joe Biden by a lot, and he always cut those margins. The fact that they're showing him tied or winning in a lot of these really tells a big story, I think, about what's going on behind the scenes.
Oh, absolutely. We had the California chair here talking about how important it is to get really 5 big battlegrounds for the congressional races here in California. So very important to do that. And we saw Lee Zeldin almost win the governorship in New York as well. So fight, 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 keep going. Don't back down. You never saw people like Stacey Abrams in Georgia saying it was too conservative. The left always fights, and they should be really admired for it. And that's why those on the populist right, those who have common sense, should never give up.
I wouldn't say admired. I have to cut you off, but take some notes maybe. Let's say that.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you for
Huge turnout, I'm sure, for sure. I had my mic muted. But we still have probably about 15 minutes before it starts, but we will definitely be playing it here. So I am going to step out and let's listen.
Committed to making this country safe, strong, and great again. Just 24 days away from the election.
You know, what's interesting to witness is that the people that rail on big government, the speakers that come out here, they always get the largest applause. And I pick that up no matter where we go. We're in California today, was in New York not long ago, North Carolina, Wisconsin. Those are always the biggest applause. There's a nationwide hunger for people to frankly be left alone. They don't want to be told what to do anymore. It's sort of embarrassing for Tim Walz to sort of go off the cuff and say, I have this saying where I come from, leave everyone the hell alone, something to that effect. Meanwhile, he locked down businesses during COVID. He's really a tyrannical, radical governor. Right. And now they're trying to, that's just another narrative that they're trying to steal from President Trump that the people are understandably seeing right through.
It really is. It's so sad. If you break down Tim Walz's record, it's really frightening because he signed legislation that would have taken children out of their homes if they're suffering from a transgender dysphoria. So it took away parental rights, and the government then became Big Brother. And the odd thing about it, and thank God for the great sheriffs who have come out almost unanimously across the country endorsing President Trump, both Republican and Democrat sheriffs. The sheriffs in Minnesota say, Governor, we can't enforce this. We can't go door to door and take children out of their parents' homes. But that's the kind of radical fascism you'd have in a Harris-Walz administration.
And what's interesting is usually there's a home field advantage for a candidate. Every candidate that wins the presidency usually wins their home state, with the exception of President Trump in 2016, because him and Hillary were both technically from New York. That was a little bit different. It's the reverse effect is happening right now. One of the main reasons, I should say, that President Trump is able to make a play in California and Minnesota is because of the unpopularity of these two candidates. Normally, you don't even worry about those states. In Reagan's election, he only lost one state, and that was to his opponent who came from that one state. Now it's like almost an opportunity for President Trump to capitalize on, because he knows the people of those states are not happy with what's going on. So it's almost provided him an opposite home field advantage. I don't know what the term is exactly, but it's sort of fascinating to witness, in my opinion.
Well, he talked about the last campaign as well. And even 2016, I was so close to getting that 2% in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And Minnesota has an eclectic voting record. They have put out great libertarian-esque people. I mean, you even have Jesse the Body Ventura, who was an entertainer, a wrestler in his own right. You think back to the movie Predator, him and the governor, former governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger, both in that film. But him then going to politics, and an interesting figure in American life, but really probably the most common sense governor they've had recently, Tim Pawlenty. So the pendulum swings in Minnesota, and that's why you need to register people, get involved, because literally every 4 years, you can change the direction of your community and the direction of your state, not only our great United States, but exactly your neck of the woods. And thank you to people like Scott Pressler, Turning Point Action, who are registering people in real time to get the job done. Even the pastor speaking today, 90 million evangelicals have not been involved in the process, and God willing they will be, because if all Christians voted in America, we'd have a much different nation right now.
And it's never been easier to get involved. First of all, President Trump is an automatic get-out-the-vote machine. Everywhere he goes, people are inspired to do things. That wasn't the case in American politics, especially in the Republican Party prior to the president getting involved almost 10 years ago now. And now you have all these resources out there. It's never been easier. It's never been more exciting, actually. So much is at stake. And again, there used to be a social stigma of politics. You know, a lot of people, what am I doing? What am I doing being involved in politics, right? It's not for me. It's more for, I'll worry about it when I'm older, or it's for rich old people. Whatever the stigma was, that's gone now. President Trump has brought a rock star appeal. Look around. Everywhere he goes, these are the crowds he draws, no matter where he goes, no matter how big the capacity of the town is. That's the era we're living in now. He's certainly changed the game, and certainly for the better, because the best way for America to work is for everybody to be involved and have the people rule.
Oh, no question about that. If you look to our right and to our left, unfortunately, can't pan the camera quite there at the moment, but people packing in, getting ready for an exciting speech that's going to be a fantastic.
Hey, Seth, how are you?
Hey, country, how are you?
I'm good. I thought we were going to stream the Trump rally tonight. This is going to be quite interesting for a simple fact. It's in California.
Yeah.
I mean, this is huge.
What time does it start?
In about 15 minutes or 12 minutes, 7 o'clock. So I was like, okay, we're going to stream this. I thought I got my days mixed up. I've been living off of a day here and a day there. A bit here and a little bit there. So we're a little bit early, but I was just sitting here. I said, well, I'm just go ahead and stream it and start streaming it.
Yeah. When did you start streaming this early?
Well, I'm trying to change up my time with stuff, because that way I can have more things to do in the evening, and if I want to relax or something, I can do the podcast. And some people have come to me and said, will you do it earlier? That way I can come and see it because they're already in bed through the week. So, but it's the weekend. So on Saturdays, this is, I like to start about 7 or 8 on Saturdays if I do it. But during the week, I've been going 7:30, 8 o'clock during the week. So a little bit
Yeah,
earlier.
I had been wondering because I saw you had been doing it a little bit earlier, and I was wondering when you had started doing that.
Just recently, probably the last few weeks, just so I could get a better outreach with people, and so I'm enjoying that. So I was gonna stream on Instagram. I still could. I could remove X. I bet they're streaming this on X.
Yeah.
Let me take X off, and then we're gonna put Instagram up. For the simple fact, StreamYard changed they went up double on their prices,
Yeah.
which is crazy, which it's election season. And I figured that's going to happen anyway. It always does. What have you been up to?
Well, we had our party had the biggest fundraiser of one of our biggest fundraisers of the year today at our festival. We weren't even selling our stuff. We were taking in donations and giving people what they wanted for relatively free. And I think we probably pulled well over $2,000, if not more, just in the first 2 or 3 hours.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But sadly, as the day went on, people started getting more agitated, and it started getting more testy out there. And you're going to see it on the news because it's already on Scanner Food that. And I swear to God, it wasn't me, but it almost was me. But so they had been, and if they see this, they're probably going to sue me, but I don't really care. So as the day went on, because I've got a friend who works the Democrat booth. I don't agree with him on policy, at least not that much. There's a few things I agree with him with.
Right.
But he's a friend, and that'll never change. He's never struck me as a bad person. But we're sitting there, and we're talking. I was waiting on him to get there because I assumed he was already there. So while I'm waiting on him, I'm looking at their booth, looking at the signs they've got up and all of this other stuff. Well, there's a woman named Lori Love who is running for Timothy Hill's Tennessee State House seat.
Right.
And they were asking me if I was voting for her, and I was honest. I said no, because I would have a hard time picking between her and Kamala Harris, who I would vote for, if that tells you anything about this particular woman. Because I'm surprised she didn't drop out of her race, because she was on Facebook, and I have the screenshots before she took them down, telling people who didn't agree with them, and again, this is while she's running for office, that she hopes they die, that she hopes their houses burned down, that she hoped their hospitals burned down and they got hurt and couldn't go get medical care.
I know who you're talking about now.
All sorts of shit. And I was like, my experience with her was just not good, and there is no way I'm voting for her. No way. I said I'd vote for Hillary Clinton before I did her. And that's become a common phrase that I've used, is now I would vote for Hillary Clinton before I would half of these people. Well,
that's saying a lot coming from you, though.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I think Hillary Clinton's a terrible human being, but I have to respect the fact that she's not stupid, because that woman is anything but stupid. If she was stupid, she'd be in jail right now. So she's not stupid. I can give her that. Terrible human being, though. But No, I was just like, no, I'm not voting for her. Not after that. I said I would sooner stick my hand in the beehive. Well, as the day went on, and they were rude about it. They were just outright rude, even though we were all having a nice conversation like 2 minutes beforehand. And one of them went, well, that's your choice. I said, well, it's not really my choice when she's on Facebook telling people she hopes they die while she's running for political office where she's going to represent those same people. That's not my choice. And so after that, I was like, I'm not arguing with you all. I'll come back over when my friend gets here. So I walked back over to our booth. Well, he didn't get there till about 3 hours later, and I was selling someone a hat. Because we were taking donations if you wanted a hat. Well, right as I handed it to him, I heard the yelling start.
Ooh.
And it was a friend of mine who I will fully admit should not have dropped the F-bomb at them. I cannot say that enough. That is unacceptable. And if he talks to me anytime here soon, I'm going to let him know that is fully unacceptable. Well, he got into it with them because they didn't realize it, but we had heard them over there insulting people who didn't want to talk to them. They had been over there, from what I had heard, being rude to multiple people who was just wanting to have a conversation with them. I'd been watching the whole day. No one had raised their voice at them. No one was being rude to them. They were just asking them questions. And then, they were talking back and forth. And I had seen how that woman had been acting, not Lori Love. She wasn't there. She wouldn't show her face here. But, and I wish she would have, because if she had, she wouldn't have liked what I had said to her, just for her saying shit like that on Facebook. That's unacceptable in my eyes. Because I told them, I was like, if Donald Trump were to say something like that and me see it, I would not vote for him under any circumstances. I would not vote for him just for saying something like that to someone.
These politicians, I think they can go on their little social media platforms and just speak whatever and think there's no accountability for it.
Yeah. And I was like, that says a lot more about me or about you all than it does me. I said, because the fact that I'm saying I wouldn't vote for the leader of my party if he said something like that, but you're going to back a woman who's getting ready to represent us if she wins, and she's on here saying shit like that, that tells you a whole lot more about you than it does me, because there's no way I would vote for Trump if he were saying shit like that. And they were into it, arguing. I walked over because I looked at, my chairman's wife and all them, and I said, I'm going to walk over here and make sure no physical stuff happens, because I know this guy. So I walk over, put my hand on his shoulder and everything, and some people had come up telling me that they had been hearing them call people inbred incest hillbillies and all sorts of shit, and they didn't think people had heard it. They called him.
Who are we talking about again?
So the Johnson County Democrat Party, and I would say if they see this, they're probably going to sue me for it. But
if it's sued.
Yeah, they would probably do it just trying to say I defamed them, because there's no way I could prove it. Sadly, no one got it on recording. But evidently someone did get the clip of them arguing. I think you can see me standing in it, at least from what I've been told. I've not seen it yet. But they were arguing over the COVID virus, arguing over, Trump being a apparent rapist, even though that's not the case. Arguing all over all sorts of stuff. Then called him a dumb drunken hick. And then when I looked at that woman who was just spouting talking points, like you could tell she had not read the case. I asked her, have you read the case? She said no. I said, then how do you know he was found liable for rape? And she said, because that's what I heard. Right then I knew I had her. Because I said, for one, that tells me you don't know what you're talking about, because no, he was not. He was found liable for sexual assault. And there's a huge difference between sexual assault and rape. Sexual assault could be me walking up and groping your breast. That is sexual assault. Or even me flashing you. That is sexual assault and harassment. I said, that is a key difference to me forcing myself on you. I said, and not only that.
The rally's starting. Hurry up.
Okay. And I was like, not only that, you can't sit here and say that he was found liable for rape when he wasn't, because the court did not find that. And they even went as far as saying she lied about that. That was what she sued him for, was rape and defamation, not sexual assault and defamation. I said, and by legal standard, any court of law that you lie in is normally going to get you for lying, especially if you're under oath. I said that right there should tell you that court case was not fair, because the fact that they found that she lied and that case was not thrown out and her charged with lying under oath, that tells you that court case was not fair. That's how I know you didn't read it, and she flew off the handle. It was great. I peed.
Oh, so they caught this on camera.
Someone told me they caught the part of them cussing on camera, because after I walked off, because I couldn't look at her anymore with a straight face.
Okay.
I was laughing so hard I about peed on myself. So evidently, as I walk off, I hear the F-bomb get dropped, and that's what evidently people got.
Oh, well, everybody says that. Okay, everybody, we are going to tune into the Trump rally. I think he's moments away. Let's see. Let's check in. Did y'all hear it?
Do not allow the left to divide us. Don't do it. Do not allow the left to divide us based on racial lines, race, religion, creed, or color. Keep in mind that the reason why we live in the greatest country in the world is because people are willing to die for this great nation. We have a man in President Trump who is willing to fight for this great nation, and we have every single American here today that is going to support what the 45th and who will be the 47th president of these United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you so much, and may God bless Donald John Trump.
Yes, baby. I would love to go to one of his rallies.
Me and you both.
That's my bucket list.
Like a river raging strong is the wind I'm facing, chasing dreams and facing father time.
Welcome in, everyone on Instagram, everyone on YouTube. Thank you for being with us.
Okay, Bobby, already?
Hey, Lee, how are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Senior Advisor to President Trump, Stephen Miller.
Yeah, some good tunes playing. Stephen Miller, I know that name. Oh, I think that is. Yeah, it's not oh, it's motorcade. Oh, well, you'll be famous, Steph.
Yeah, really.
Hello, California.
Look at that turnout.
Hello, Palm Springs. Hello, Orange County. Hello, Los Angeles. Hello to every community all across the Golden State. I'm a native son of California. I grew up in this state. I was raised in this state. And I have seen firsthand how the Democrat Party has demolished this state. They have taken your freedom, they have taken your money, and they have unleashed a hell of crime and suffering all across California. But I have good news for you. Help is on the way.
You bet your ass it is.
With your vote, in just 24 days, we are going to send Donald J. Trump back to the White House. And as soon as he takes that oath of office, he is going to end the inflation. He is going to end the theft of our jobs. He's going to end the outsourcing and the offshoring. He's going to end the crime wave, and he is going to end the migrant invasion of our country. Everyone here today, you have worked hard, you have sacrificed, you have followed the rules your whole life. And what has your government repaid you with? They have burdened you. They have punished you. They have tried to indoctrinate your children. They have taken your money. They have taken your livelihoods, and they have flooded your communities with illegal immigrants. You have been loyal to America, and it's about damn time you had a government that was loyal to you.
Say it again. Say it louder.
And that is what you will get with Donald J. Trump. Think about what this man has endured for you. For the last 8 years, they've come after him with one lie after another, one defamation after another, one attack after another, one persecution, one witch hunt, one hoax, one assault. And yes, Donald J. Trump has survived not one, but 2 assassination attempts. And what did he do? What did he do? Did he back down? Did he bend? Did he waver? Did he relent? No, he stood up tall. He stood up strong. He stood up proud. And he declared with 3 immortal words, fight, fight, fight. And that is the fight that he will deliver for you in the White House. He will fight for your families. He will fight for your children. He will fight for your country. And he will fight to ensure that your children can live in a country where Americans come first, last, and always. Because Americans built this country, Americans sustained this country, Americans shed their blood, sweat, and tears for this country. And this country, ladies and gentlemen, it does not belong to the politicians. It does not belong to the illegal aliens. It belongs to you, the American citizens. So over the next 24 days, call your friends, call your family, reach out to everyone you know, not just across California, but across Pennsylvania, across Wisconsin, across North Carolina, across all the swing states, and send a message, an earthquake, not just across this country, an earthquake across the world, by sending our man, our hero, our warrior back to the White House by re-electing Donald J. Trump and delivering the salvation of America. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States.
Instagram kicked me off. I had to log back into it. Don't tell me they're hating on Trump already. Come on, Instagram. Don't hate on Trump. Big turnout. Yeah, it's been after now. He's always late though.
Yeah.
Right Side Broadcasting coverage of President Trump live in Coachella, California. It is Trumpchella, a beautiful evening in Southern California in Riverside County, where President Trump is doing his West Coast swing. Yesterday in Denver, Colorado, and Reno, Nevada. Earlier today, a Latino roundtable in Las Vegas, Nevada, and now to the Golden State to make his case to voters. This state actually has the most Republican voters in the country, but they are outnumbered 2-1 or 3-1 on occasions by just the sheer amount of Democrats. I'm Bobby McNeely. It's an honor to join you with my co-host, the mighty Matt Cain, and coverage from live in studio back in Auburn, Alabama, with the magnificent Matthew Alvarez. And today, an exciting Saturday, a college football Saturday. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you've been able to watch some of your favorite games. There's 2 Southlands. You look down at and also we are in the Southland of Southern California, Penn State taking on USC, but Super Bowl of Super Bowls, the bowl games of bowl games, President Trump's campaign to make America safe again, make America strong again, make America wealthy again, make America healthy again, and ultimately to make America great again. It's just past 5 o'clock Pacific time. 8 o'clock on our beautiful East Coast. And what a beautiful backdrop to look upon these palm trees and the beautiful mountains here in what is God's country, the American West, where patriots from years and years ago rushed west in search of gold and silver, in search of new land, and in search of the American dream. President Trump on the hunt to do what only one other man has been able to accomplish. That was Grover Cleveland, to serve 2 non-consecutive terms in the White House. President Grover Cleveland, a Democrat of Ohio, the 22nd and 24th president, respectively, and President Trump, our 45th president, seeking to become number 47. Really, with policies that are those of liberty, that are a unifying populist message, 20 promises to America, that were adopted in July in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, before the Republican National Convention. And number 19 right now, one of those important on that list is to register to vote early, whether that's in person or absentee balloting. And finally, if you have no other opportunity to do that, vote on Election Day, November 5th. President Trump has called it Liberation Day, the day where we take back our country. Remember, the 5th of November. And I'd like to shout out the wonderful volunteers who help make all this happen. They're actually on the left side of your camera. It's those beautiful ladies from North Carolina who travel around the country. And President Trump likes to give them wonderful shout outs because they're so helpful with press check-in and with volunteer check-in. And they wear these beautiful colored dresses, bright yellows, bright reds, and pinks, and blues and greens. They are really the belles of the ball, and they are ready to help make America great again alongside President Trump. In some other news, of course, we've had natural disasters here in America, and we pray for those affected in the southeast region of our country. Hurricane Helene just having a devastating effect on western North Carolina and in Asheville. And I was speaking to those ladies as we did press check-in this afternoon, and it's just a very sad moment for the beautiful area of Asheville, and we're praying, we're with you. We want to help you as well, whether that's through the American Red Cross, Samaritan's Purse. Reverend Franklin Graham was with President Trump in Valdosta, Georgia, surveying the damage there in southern Georgia. Then you had Hurricane Milton that came through, and thank you to Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida and the hard work that his team is doing for emergency management. And Governor DeSantis saying that this is not a political moment, but a purposeful moment to save his residents and their well-being, and actually praising President Trump and President Biden and their personal responses. Governor DeSantis having good relationships with both when it comes to disaster recovery, and that's what we should do as Americans. And he mentioned that Kamala Harris really has no say in this process as vice president, and that she's playing politics in the last few days because her campaign is failing in the process to go into these last few days, 24 days left, in truly the most crucial election of our lifetime. It is liberty versus tyranny. Dennis Quaid reminding us of that today, the great
Too
actor
bad
of
it's
the new
not
movie Reagan.
coming up with new knee pad designs. She'd be great at that.
To see a really unique and somber take on our 40th president and the humility in the man, the great communicator who began a movement in the modern American realm to truly make America great again. And he mentioned that in one of his acceptance speeches, that the Reagan Revolution was about that, bringing together people from all walks of life to save the middle class, to put America first, to create manufacturing jobs and save the American steel industry. President Trump mirroring that with the 20 promises to America, a second contract with the American people. Very similar to what Speaker Gingrich accomplished, actually with the Democrat Bill Clinton 30 years ago, when he promised a contract with America to make it safe and strong again. President Trump is the man for this mission. He is ready, willing, and able. And at 78 years young, it is on a barn burner with his team, crisscrossing our amazing American nation, this constitutional republic, 248 years young, and on this West Coast swing, whether that's Colorado or Nevada or California, and then soon Arizona.
I'll pause for a minute. Hey, Lee. Yeah, it was a bad storm, wasn't it? Gravel's supposed to be coming in at some point. I don't know when he'll be coming in. Can't wait to see Trump take the stage in California. Did he campaign in California on his last? See, I never watched Trump in his last election.
I believe he did, but he only did it one or two times because, from what I understood, he does understand that the point that those commentators made earlier is a good one. That Republicans are normally outnumbered 2-1, 3-1 in California, and the odds of him flipping it without flipping at least 30% of Democrats to his side in that state is just it's slim. So he sees it as kind of like it's just, it may be a good investment for the future to start laying the groundwork there, but it's not so much of something that he's just going to toss money into.
Gotcha. Well, let's turn back in. Let's see what's going on.
Zona. He is ready to continue the fight message of civilization just a few blocks from us. I think about Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack and going down to the Palms to share and showcase the great talent that is America, singing about love, loss, and heartbreak, but also these great American states. Think of people like John Wayne as well. We're on the Empire Polo Club, enjoying a backdrop where the Coachella Music Festival happens, where great racers from around the world compete in the polo competitions. And that is so much fun and robust. If you haven't been to any one of those competitions, highly recommend it. The signs out here reminding people to swampthevoteusa.com. It only takes 30 seconds to register and request your mail-in ballot, update voter registration, or pledge to vote early in person today. And here's another cool thing about voting early. Once you do that, your name gets off the list and you go out there and get it done. And the campaign doesn't have to reach out to you. So then you stop getting those pesky phone calls, those pesky emails reminding you to go vote, because once you go to swampthevoteusa.com, make that pledge to vote early, request your mail-in ballot, and update your voter registration, you're ready to go. And
well, shoot, they had a picture of Michelle Obama or Michael Obama on the freaking envelope when they sent those letting you ballots out.
Yeah.
So
also, guys, if you live in Tennessee, voting starts, early voting starts on October 16th. So try and go vote if you can.
Who will protect the integrity of our elections. And that's voting up and down the ballot, my friends. County clerks, secretaries of state who oversee these elections. And there's hope out there. There's so much hope, because I know it's been a rough few years. We've all been affected by the cancel culture. The fact that people have gone in to vote and people have voted in their stead. The fact that I was speaking to Mighty Matt Cain earlier about this too, that in legal terms, certain cases were thrown out or were stayed because of certain judges, certain courts did not want to touch the issue. But there's no question that there were finicky, funny business going on, and there is plenty of proof of that. And the only way to solve that is to have backbones. And a shout out to the state election board in Georgia for taking on the Secretary of State's office to make sure the integrity of the election is pure. One vote per one resident. That it's free and fair. That's all the movement is asking for. We also have 747,000 ineligible voters taken off of the ballot in North Carolina. So much hope going on out there, and the great leadership of Laura Trump, the RNC co-chair, who's from North Carolina, doing a remarkable job to make sure that there are lawyers and people on the ground to make sure the election integrity is so important. You heard from Rick Grinnell today, former ambassador to Germany over, and also Kash Patel. Both so crucial to the success of the Trump 45 administration, and who, God willing, will be back for Trump 47. And as you can see, TrumpForce47.com, also a great space to learn how to become a captain, how to reach out to your neck of the woods and your voters in order to make America great again. And it's really not work that's going to be backbreaking. It's reaching out to 10 to 25 of your neighbors. Perhaps you'll make more friends as a result of it. Going out there and getting the vote out, and Rick Grinnell reminding people, all of us can't sit down and wait for someone else to do whatever it might be in order to win this election for President Trump and down ballot candidates. You have to get out there and make a difference on a regular basis. Call your family, call your friends.
Seth, what is something that the younger voters and voters in general could do quickly to help with this voting process to make sure it's secure?
So you can volunteer to go be poll watchers. You can, for one, just voting in general is something that you need to do no matter what. I know a lot of people peddle that BS nonsense of your vote does not matter, but in reality, that is the most important thing you can do is go and vote. But again, poll watching, making sure your registration is up to date, learning what laws your state has in place to protect your elections. Those are the biggest thing you can do, because if you see a law that is you're not 100% sure is actually doing what it's supposed to, or it has a massive plot hole in it, your best bet and the best thing you can do at that point is to immediately get in touch with your state reps and make them fix it. Hold their asses accountable for it. Because I'm telling you, we learned that the easy way in Tennessee, and we basically said that after 2020, we want our elections for sure to be safe here. And now, as a result of that, Tennessee is the #1 state for election integrity in the entire country.
Amen.
We have the strictest laws when it comes to that to make sure that our elections are safe here. And if you get in touch with your local Republican Party or local Democrat Party, whoever you're voting for, you can go and look into where you can go to register to be a poll watcher, and that you can be there to help people vote that night after you vote. So again, that's your best thing right there, is to do everything I just listed.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's get back to it. Let's see what's going on.
Truly unscripted television, where one of the contestants asked him on the 3rd season, "Sir, is it true that you paid off the mortgage of a couple who helped just change your tire when your limo hit a nail on the New York freeway?" He did not want to talk about it. He did not want to talk about it on the show. And finally he said, "It's true." And that's all I'll say about it. A man with a heart of gold, not only helping people financially, but putting people up in need, whether they need a flight out of a disaster zone, whether they need long-term stay somewhere. He changed the New York skyline. He changed the Chicago skyline. He changed the Las Vegas skyline, and has worked with city councils and negotiated with the greatest businessmen and the worst of dictators in order to make this world safe, better for all people. And that's the message of the MAGA movement. Ultimately, it's about safety. It's about securing our borders, creating robust financial peace and independence, and ultimately peace through strength. And the only way that you do that is by negotiating with friends and foes alike. Vladimir Putin would not have invaded Ukraine. President Zelensky has come here recently to meet with President Trump, and succumbing to President Trump's demands of having world peace. And the president of Ukraine seemingly agreeing with President Trump in order to get that mission done. And the pledge that before he takes the oath of office on January 20th, he will make sure that there's peace within 24 hours between Russia and Ukraine in that awful stalemate. Look at our friends in Israel. We just commemorated. Today is Yom Kippur. A happy Yom Kippur to our Jewish viewers and friends at home. Of course, we have just celebrated Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur today, this beautiful moment to reflect on peace. And the last year, we still have American and Israeli hostages held in Palestinian conflict. And Hamas, Hezbollah, the Iranian government, all attacking the Jewish people in an anti-Semitic way, which must end. And thank God that the IDF has been so bold and aggressive in hitting strategic points in Lebanon. And truly, whatever your views on these conflicts, the Israeli government warns innocent people of when they will strike. They are a humane group where Israelis, Arabs of the Muslim faith, and Christians can all go to worship at some of the holiest sites in the world. All three of the major monotheistic religions share in beautiful traditions in Jerusalem and the surrounding areas, in the Holy Land, where God first revealed himself to his people, the Jewish people. So we pray for the peace of Israel here at Right Side Broadcasting. We're grateful for our staff, for our producers on the road, our directors, our great owner, Joe Seals, who had the vision 10 years ago as President Donald Trump came down that golden escalator in his Trump Tower as a private citizen, pledging to make America safe, strong, and great again. First by sealing the borders, and then by bringing common sense back into our government to take on a bureaucratic state. You know, a Washington, D.C. that he really wasn't used to. He had dominated New York and the business world. But even he said the other night that D.C. was different for him. He had only been there 17 times in his business career. But nonetheless, he broke down the doors. He unveiled that curtain of the deep state, the League of Shadows.
You know what he talked about, League of Shadows? That sounds so familiar to me.
I can't remember.
Lee, do you know what he's talking about?
America. I believe now, and I don't want to speak out of turn, may God rest his soul and the great founders of this incredible constitutional republic. But I believe the great Alexander Hamilton will look at this now and say, this is too bloated. This is too big of a bureaucracy serving itself. Congressmen were not meant to be in office for 40 plus years. They were meant to go for their period of time, serve their communities, then come back to finish their vocational occupation and work and service in their own communities. And we're slowly but surely getting back to that in America. Thank God we have the Bill of Rights, the 10th Amendment. President Trump being one of the greatest advocates for states' rights. We see that with the destruction of Roe v. Wade and judicial influence and judicial dictatorship that brought on that horrible ruling for 50 years that brought death and destruction upon people. This pro-life president appointing 3 justices to the United States Supreme Court who believe in the rule of law and the American Constitution. President Trump appointing hundreds of judges. Divine intervention in our midst in this spiritual warfare that's taking place. And a reminder that President Trump, my goodness, the lawfare, the fake impeachments, the Russia, the hoax, Rick Grenell and Kash Patel being in the middle of all that, seeing how President Trump was harassed and the administration harassed during all those moments. But even with all of that happening, President Trump accomplishing so much with his administration, especially the Abraham Accords. You think of the peace in Israel between Morocco, the UAE, and also Bahrain. Those 4 countries coming together in order to not only pray for the safety and strength of Israel, but to make relations between Israelis and Arabs and to build business throughout the region and ultimately to have peace. My friends, I'm Bobby McNeely. It's a pleasure to be here with you with the mighty Matt Cain. Sending it back now to the magnificent Matthew Alvarez in Auburn, Alabama, home of the Auburn Tigers. War Eagle, ladies and gentlemen, it's College Football Saturday as we await President Trump. Back to Matthew Alvarez.
All right. Thank you so much, Bobby McNeely. Some great commentary there, some great points about our friends Israel, and so many meetings that have been had between President Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu, and others when it comes to the safety of Israel. I know that President Trump, as you guys know, says he wants the killing to stop when it comes to Ukraine, Russia, when it comes to peace in the Middle East. We saw under the first President Trump administration, there were no new wars. So some great points there by Bobby, and also Matt Cain there, Matthew Alvarez here in the studio. As you guys know, it's Coachella, California. That's pretty awesome. President Trump visiting there and having a campaign stop. This is 4 states in 3 days. Yesterday, of course, was Nevada. Then today in California. Also, he was in Colorado, and then tomorrow in Arizona. All of this coverage you can see right here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. If you'd like to donate to Right Side Broadcasting Network, all you do is text RSBN to 801-801. We've got some great sponsors here. We're not bought and paid for by any woke corporations. It's all about patriotic companies right here in the USA. And then also Those of you watching right now, obviously it doesn't cost any money to watch Right Side Broadcasting Network. So if you do have a few extra bucks, great. I know that it's tough right now because of Bidenomics and Kamala-nomics. So we're looking for Maganomics to get back in there, hopefully soon. I mean, I was just thinking about the fact that it's 8 plus 8 days away, 24 days until the election. Why don't we take a look at that live video there right now in Coachella, California. I'm Matthew Alvarez. Let's go back out to Coachella.
It changed. Inflation destroyed the lives of so many people. Interest rates
country,
went from
I have
2%
to drop down, but I will try and come back up here in a minute.
Immigrants, traffickers, and drugs coming into our country.
Okay, sweetie.
Our country has gone to hell. So I made a decision to run. We're going to make America great again, greater than ever before. I will fight for you with every breath, and I will never let you down.
I'm gonna fight like a G, they all go see, and if I die, I'm gonna die free.
President Trump is literally putting his life on the line, and he's willing to risk it all because he loves this country.
He is strong, he is fearless, and he is what this country needs right now.
Our cities will be safe, our streets will be clean, and our border will be secure.
We can't allow our country to be destroyed by politicians who will put their own power ahead of the interests of the American people, our freedom, and our future.
The left told me to hate Trump. When you cut through the lies, you realize the truth. American families were better when Donald Trump was president. We were safer, wealthier, and stronger.
So if you love this country, if you want to stand up and fight for the future of our nation, you must re-elect Donald J. Trump.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the next president of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is a Rather nice crowd. You can't see the end of it. Hello back there. Boy, you are so fun. I don't know if they can see anything. I want to give a special hello to Coachella. We have had a great reception here. And look at this crowd. This is like record stuff. As far as the eye can see, that means we're going to do very well. This is like a poll. And a very also special hello to the state of California. We got to make it better. We got to make it better. I stand before you today in the heart of the majestic Coachella Valley to declare that the Republican Party will always put America first and lead us on to victories like you have never seen before. We got a big victory. Because we become the party of common sense. You know, we call it common sense. We're conservative. Who the hell knows? We might even be a little bit liberal, but you know what? We have common sense. We have common sense. That's what it's all about. No, we're nice and conservative, but we do it the proper way. And